This video is a guide to configuring any of Moxa's AWK products using the text-based console port. In order to connect to the console port, you will need to have Moxa's PCOM terminal emulator program or any other terminal emulator installed. If you do not have PCOM, you may download it from our website at www.moxa.com. Once you have installed the terminal emulator program, please connect the AWK to your computer's serial port. If you do not have a serial port, you may use Moxa's UPort 1110 or any other USB to serial device to create one. Once you have connected your AWK, the first step to connect to it is to open PCOM. To do so, open your program files and select PCOM Terminal Emulator from the PCOM options. Once PCOM has loaded, select the Open icon from the top left of the program. This will bring up the PCOM configuration window. Select the proper COM port that you are connected to, then make sure that your baud rate is set to 115/200, the data bits to 8, the parity to none, and the stop bits to 1. Then, click on the Terminal tab to continue configuration. Under the Terminal tab, under Terminal Type, please select VT100. Then hit the OK button to bring up the terminal window. Once the terminal window opens, hit Enter to connect to the AWK. You will see a login prompt. If you have not changed the default login, type admin as the username, then hit Enter. At the password prompt, type root, then hit Enter again. This will take you to the main configuration screen. The console port of the AWK is used for basic configuration when the web-based interface is not available. Because the console port is text-based, the configuration options are more limited than with the web-based console. The configuration is divided into a series of numerical options, which are grouped similarly to the web-based configuration, only reduced. There are 5 options available: System Info Settings, Network Settings, Time Settings, Maintenance, Restart, and Quit. The System Info settings include basic information about the AWK, such as device name, location, description, and contact info. To change any of these settings, simply type the number associated with that choice. For example, type 1 for the device name, then hit Enter. The second menu available is the Network Settings menu, and is likely the menu you will use most often. To access this menu, from the main menu, type 2 and then hit Enter. Within this menu, there are 6 configuration options available to you. These options are IP configuration, IP address, subnet mask, gateway, primary DNS server, and secondary DNS server. Like the first menu, you also have the option to view your settings or go back to the main menu. The third menu is used to configure all the time settings on the AWK. Within this menu, you have 5 options. These options are local time, time zone, time server 1, time server 2, and query period. The fourth menu is the maintenance menu and will be very useful for times when incorrect changes have been made to the unit and it is otherwise inaccessible. Within this menu, you have the option to load factory defaults. This will restore the AWK back to the way it was when it arrived from Moxa. The last option available to you is to simply restart the unit. Now we will go through a few examples of configurations within the menus. Please note, if at any time you feel you have gone into a wrong menu, you may simply hit the Escape key and you will be taken back to the previous menu you were in. The first example is to configure an IP address and subnet for the AWK. To configure the IP address of the unit, type in number 2, then hit Enter. This will take you to the Network Settings screen. To select a static IP address for your AWK, type 0, then hit Enter. You will see a confirmation, and then you may hit any key to take you back to the previous menu. To change the subnet mask, type 3, then hit Enter. As with the IP address, to change the subnet mask, simply delete the current mask, retype your desired mask, and hit Enter. To see all of the changes that you have made, you can hit the V key, which will show you all the current configurations for the menu that you are currently working in. To get back to the main menu, simply type the letter M and then hit Enter. The next example is to configure the time. There are two ways to do this, either manually or with a time server to synchronize the AWK's internal clock against a known time server. To set the time manually, from the main menu, select 3 for time settings, then hit Enter. Then type 1 and hit Enter again to get into the local time settings. You will be walked through a series of options such as year, month, and day, as well as hour, minute, and seconds. Once you are done with all of the settings, hit Enter. To set the time using a time server, from the Time Settings menu, type 3 and then hit Enter. You will see a prompt for a time synchronization website. To set your desired website, simply delete the old time server and enter your desired time server. This concludes the video tutorial on how to use the console port to configure an AWK.